What's up, Performance Posse? It's Andrew coming to you from the basement workshop again. We've got a little reel review for you folks this evening. We are going to be taking a look at the Carbon X 3000 spinning reel from Piscifun. This is a bit of a tricky review for me, you guys, just because of the price point on this reel. I've had it for about 9 months now, so I've tested it in all kinds of conditions, so I feel like I can give you guys some really good feedback on it. We'll talk about some of the features that I really like on it. Why don't you guys go ahead, drop a comment below. Let me know what the features are that you guys value the most in a spinning reel, and I'm going to kind of go over some of those things as we go through the reel here. Okay, everybody, real quickly, we're just going to run through the specs on the side of the box. I'm sure many of you have seen these numbers before. For those of you that have not, here we go. The Carbon X 3000 is a 10+1 roller bearing for 11 total bearings. You guys, I do not get jazzed up about bearing counts at all. Not in the least. In fact, I find bearing counts to be one of the most overhyped things in the entire fishing industry, but that's probably a separate conversation for a different day. A 6:2-to-1 gear ratio picks up 33.5 inches of line per turn of the handle. The 22-pound drag is massive, and here's the important number, you guys. Overall weight on the reel is 8 ounces or 228 grams. Let's go ahead and get into this reel a little bit, you guys. It comes in at $75, like I mentioned. So for me, its probably biggest competitors are Shimano Sedona and Shimano Sahara. I have a lot of experience with both of those reels, so I'm going to kind of go ahead and use those as my point of comparison at this price point. Let's talk about line lay, you guys. Right off the bat, I spooled this up in that super cold weather with just some Trilene XL monofilament. It was great. I later switched to Daiwa J-braid. It also was great. It's currently spooled with 8-pound P-line fluorocarbon. So I've had all the 3 major types of line on this reel with no issues. Line lay is always excellent. With that said, I will mention that they do include some shims inside the box in case you need to adjust that a little bit. I, however, did not need to. Mine came right out of the box and everything spooled up great. So that was nice for me. But just be aware that they are in there. They're in a small plastic bag when you open up the box, so don't lose them. Let's see, what else? Drag. Front drag, pretty typical. 22 pounds, that's a big number, but let's be realistic. If it's not smooth, 22 pounds doesn't mean anything. I can tell you that the drag on this reel has been silky smooth all winter, spring, summer. I primarily target largemouth, smallmouth, and walleyes. I have had many smallmouth in the 3 to 4 pound range on this reel. I had my personal best, which was almost 5.5, come in the boat on this reel. I've had a few largemouth over 5 pounds, which are great fish up here in Wisconsin. And I've even had a 34-inch northern pike in the boat on this reel. The drag handled flawlessly every single time. With that said, the Chinook salmon run is about to kick up here in Lake Michigan. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to be taking this thing to the harbors of Lake Michigan, chasing after those king salmon, and that's going to put this 22 pounds of drag to the ultimate test. I have no doubt that it's going to hold up, though. Just after 9 months of use, I have a pretty good feel for what this reel is capable of, and I think it will do well even with the power of the mighty king salmon. Handle-wise, the turn is super smooth on it. It's very comparable to the Shimano's that I've used. It does have a foam knob on it. I'm not going to ding it too hard for that. I'd have preferred the soft rubber that Shimano uses. That's probably just me nitpicking, but it does have a foam knob on it versus rubber. Very minor thing. Not a big deal at all. It doesn't affect the retrieve. Obviously, it's comfortable enough. It retrieves just fine. No complaints to speak of there. One thing that separates this reel, in my opinion, from its counterpart in Shimano is its cold weather performance, you guys. I live in Wisconsin. Extreme cold is just a fact of life up here. I had this reel out back in January in the boat with my buddy Jason. The air temperatures were 32, 33 degrees most of the day. This reel stayed silky smooth the entire time. It's been my personal experience with Shimano reels in the past. Their grease does not do very well in cold weather. It gets thick, it gums up, the reel becomes stiff to the point where I've had to go ahead and take those reels apart, clean them all out, and re-lube them just so that I could take them out in the cold weather. That was not my experience with this reel at all, you guys. This thing did awesome in the cold weather, so that's just another bonus for me. So I would have to say, because of the overall weight and its cold weather performance, I'm going to give this thing a slight edge over the Shimano Sedonas and Saharas. Like I said, the drag is comparable, the line lay is comparable, the retrieve is as smooth or smoother, but the weight and cold weather performance just push this thing over the edge slightly. Where this reel gets tricky for me personally, you guys, is that $75 price tag. If you're a $50 budget reel shopper and can stretch to $75, this reel will blow the doors off any of your $50 reels. There's no doubt about that, okay? If you're a $75 reel shopper that can't stretch into the $100 reel, I typically like to stay around $100. That's just me personally. I'm a father of two. I've got a wife. I've got responsibilities. $120 is the top of the line for me for a reel. That's just where I'm at in life. At $75, I'm probably going to wait until I can afford the $100 for the Daiwa. If you're a $75 reel shopper, this one checks all the boxes. There's no doubt about it. It's going to do everything you ask it to do at $75 that you could ever ask for a reel. I'm 100% confident in recommending this reel to anybody that's in that range. With that said, if you can stretch out to $100, for me personally, I'm looking at the Daiwa Fuego LT. That's just where I'm kind of at on spinning reels. If you're a $75 reel shopper, give this thing a hard look, you guys. You're not going to be disappointed. If you're a $100 reel shopper, this is probably not the one for you. You're going to be used to that $100 reel, which is going to be a little nicer experience, at least in my opinion. This will compete with the what used to be called the Symmetry. I believe it's now called the Nasty. The one thing that's nicer about this than the Nasty is it's going to come in lighter weight. It's going to be slightly heavier than a Fuego, but it's going to be lighter than a Shimano. So if you're a $100 reel shopper and you're looking to save a little bit of weight and a few dollars, don't be afraid to pull the trigger on this one, I guess, either, you guys. Let your budget dictate where you're going to land on that, but if you're in that $75 price range, don't feel bad about buying this reel, you guys. It's bulletproof so far. Like I said, 9 months of hard fishing, handled everything I could ask it to do. In my opinion, it's just not as nice as the Daiwa, but it's definitely nicer than the $75 Shimanos, and it's far nicer than a $50 budget reel. So, again, you guys, give the Piscifun Carbon X 3000 a serious look. Well, that about does it for tonight, everybody. That's a closer look at the Carbon X 3000 from Piscifun. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, you guys, smash that thumbs up button. Don't forget to share it with your friends. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to become a member of the Performance Posse by subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell button so you get notified when I upload new videos. Until next time, everybody, tight lines.